8 colors that make men notice older women instantly, even after 60. Psychology amazing facts. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like you disappeared into the crowd? You're still you, intelligent, experienced, full of life, but somehow people's eyes pass right over you as if you're no longer there. You haven't changed, except that you've crossed into your 60s. And sadly, society sometimes makes women like us feel invisible just because we're no longer young. But do you know what truly captures attention beyond age, weight, or fashion? Color. It's no coincidence that Harvard calls color the first language of emotion. The colors you wear speak louder than words, and at this stage in life, they can help you stand out, be heard, and most importantly, be remembered. Today, Golden Wise Elders will reveal 10 smart color choices, 8 shades that help you radiate the beauty of a wise, vibrant woman, and 2 common mistakes you might be making that could be causing you to fade into the background of your own life. And trust me, color number 9 will both surprise and inspire you to try it immediately. There's something people don't often say out loud, that once a woman passes 60, the world's gaze doesn't land on her the same way anymore. Not because she's any less, but because society has grown used to loud, sharp, youthful images, and sometimes forgets that soft, seasoned beauty deserves to be seen too. I remember my friend Joanne, who lives in Sacramento, California. She's 67, her hair silvering beautifully, and she carries herself with timeless grace. One day, she wore a rose gold silk scarf, light as air, just a small accent around her neck, to her granddaughter's birthday. That day, people kept saying she looked different, not because she was trying to look younger, but because she was glowing, effortlessly. It's no surprise scientists have studied the effect of rose gold. A 2022 study by the American Color Institute found that women over 60 wearing rose gold were described as gentle, approachable, and calming to talk to, especially as skin begins to shift with age through spots, dullness, or loss of elasticity. Dr. Lorraine Keene, a geriatric aesthetic specialist, said during a Boston conference, rose gold works beautifully on warm-toned or gently aging skin. It acts like a soft filter across the face, easing the viewer's gaze and boosting the wearer's confidence without the need for heavy makeup. If you're not used to wearing light colors, don't worry. You don't have to overhaul your wardrobe. A delicate scarf, a pair of earrings, or even a rose gold neckline trim is enough to make a graceful impression. The magic is that while silver or yellow gold can make mature skin look dull, rose gold reflects light in a softer way, making your skin look fresher, even without makeup. That said, rose gold requires balance. Too much metallic can overpower your presence. The secret is knowing when to stop. Use one thoughtful accent to enhance, not overwhelm your look. Even after 60, women deserve to feel beautiful in a way that's mature, gentle, and uniquely theirs. Rose gold doesn't make you look 20 again. It helps people see the woman you truly are. Seasoned, radiant, and proud of her journey. So have you ever tried rose gold? Is there anything in your closet with that hue? If so, try it on again. Maybe you'll see a different version of yourself. One that's confident, soft-spoken, and doesn't need to explain herself anymore. If this idea inspires you, leave a comment below or share this video with your closest friend. Who knows, maybe both of you will find yourselves glowing in your next get-together. And if you'd like to keep receiving gentle, uplifting advice like this, hit subscribe to join the Golden Wise Elders community, where women over 60 shine on their own terms. And when we talk about gentleness, there's another color, equally radiant but often overlooked, that carries an unexpected vitality, a color of nature, of life, and of new beginnings. It's emerald green. When you've embraced enough softness to make others stop and take notice, perhaps it's also time to bring in something fresh, like a cool breeze after a long rain. That's the feeling emerald green evokes. It doesn't shout for attention. It simply spreads, like the quiet joy seasoned women often bring to others, not with noise, but with the resilient life force that lives quietly within them. Marilyn, 71, from Portland, Oregon, once shared on the Aging Gracefully forum. I always stuck to browns and blacks because they felt safe. But last spring, my daughter bought me a lightweight deep green jacket. The first day I wore it out, 3 strangers complimented me on how fresh I looked. I had no idea how much I needed to hear that. It may sound like a small moment, but it's like that first spring rain falling gently onto thirsty branches. Because after 60, we don't just crave peace, we also need recognition. A glance that says, you're still here, you're still living, and you're still deeply lovable. Color psychologists have spent years studying the emotional effects of emerald green. A 2021 study from the University of Minnesota published in the Journal of Color and Psychology revealed that emerald green activates the emotional centers in the brain, generating relaxation and enhancing a sense of connection in those around us. It not only helps the wearer feel more at ease with herself, but also makes others more open and warm in conversation. Dr. Wendy Marks, a geriatric therapist in Boston, adds, "We often use deep green in care centers to help older adults reconnect with positive memories. This color evokes nature, renewal, healing, and above all, hope." That's why, if you ever feel like you're fading into the background, like you're no longer the center of any story, try adding a touch of green. It doesn't have to be a full outfit, maybe just a soft scarf, a flowing skirt, or a pair of sparkling emerald earrings. Small details like these can brighten an otherwise dull day, from the outside in and from the inside out. But a word of caution, not all greens have the same effect. Neon or overly bright greens can actually emphasize sensitive areas of aging skin, especially around the neck and shoulders. Emerald green, rich, deep, and calm, is the recommended shade. It adds depth to both skin tone and gaze, creating harmony rather than contrast. Interestingly, in senior therapy groups across California, therapists encourage the use of emerald green in creative activities like coloring, flower arranging, or knitting. The color is known to help regulate heart rate, promote relaxation, and ease mild anxiety common after 60. As you can see, color isn't just fashion, it's therapy. And emerald green is a kind of natural emotional vitamin. No prescription needed, no side effects, just gentle support for the soul, especially on days when we feel ourselves slowing down. Have you ever worn something in deep green? How did it make you feel? Was there something different about that day? When green gently tells us, "You're still living." Classic red whispers something bolder. "I'm here, and I deserve to be seen." Not everyone dares to wear red. Red doesn't hide. Red doesn't retreat. Red refuses to blend into the background. It shows up, bold and unapologetic, just like the inner spirit of a woman who's lived through many seasons and who no longer feels the need to shrink under someone else's gaze. I once read a beautiful story from Patricia, a 68-year-old woman on the Senior Strong Forum based in Atlanta. She wrote, "For years I wore only browns, grays, blacks. One day I walked past a shop window and saw a red dress. I didn't plan to buy it. I just tried it on for fun. But when I looked in the mirror, I saw a version of myself I hadn't seen in years. And she was smiling back at me. I didn't realize how much I missed that feeling." Later, Patricia wore that red dress to her grandson's wedding. She said, "For the first time in years, people looked me in the eyes when they spoke to me." You don't need a stack of scientific papers to understand why red makes such a bold impact, but the numbers do help solidify the truth. A 2017 study from the University of Rochester in New York found that in tests measuring visual recognition and emotional response, people wearing red were rated as more energetic, assertive, and attractive by 45%, more than those wearing neutral tones. What's especially interesting is that this effect was even stronger among women aged 60 and above, because as our skin tone changes, red has the power to wake up, a radiance that time may have quietly tucked away. Dr. Michelle Thomas, a personal style consultant for older women in California, explains, "Classic red is perfect for a woman who knows herself, who understands that standing out doesn't mean showing off. Sometimes all it takes is a red scarf or a cinched red dress to bring light back to the entire face." But like any strong spice, red works best when used wisely. Dressing head to toe in bright red can overwhelm the eye and create visual tension. But used as an accent, in a coat, a lipstick, a pair of bold shoes, red has undeniable power. It captures attention, holds it, and leaves a lasting impression. Some say, "I'm too old to wear red." But the truth is, it's precisely because you've reached this age that you understand why you choose it. Not for anyone's admiration, but for that quiet moment in the mirror when you recognize a vibrant part of yourself you thought was long gone. And whether you live alone or not, you still deserve to feel seen, to feel cared for, and to live a life full of love, especially the kind that comes from within. Is there a red piece in your closet that's been sitting untouched? Or have you ever told yourself, "I just can't pull off red"? Maybe today's the day you give yourself permission to try. Sometimes, all it takes is a red scarf around your neck, and suddenly, your heart feels warm, even on the coldest winter day. From the confident vibrancy of red, we now move into something quieter, less loud, less flashy, but no less captivating. A color that whispers depth, mystery, and a uniquely mature femininity. That color is rich burgundy. If classic red is a radiant declaration of self-assurance, then rich burgundy is its softer echo, a deep, mellow note that only the discerning can truly appreciate. There are days when we want to be noticed, but not loudly. And sometimes it's our calm presence, not noise, that draws others in and keeps them close. I once received a message from Helen, 74, in Denver, Colorado. She said she had stopped wearing bright colors after her husband passed away. Instead, she gravitated toward earth tones like brown and gray. But one day, for a book club gathering, she wore a wine-colored sweater, a gift from her daughter-in-law that she'd almost forgotten. I didn't expect it, she wrote, but everyone complimented me that day. Someone even said I looked like a European lady of elegance. Helen's story stayed with me because it reminded me of what rich burgundy feels like. It's the color of a woman who no longer needs to prove anything, yet commands attention. Not because she's loud, but because people can sense she's lived a life full of meaning. Burgundy doesn't shout, doesn't demand, but it earns trust, evokes warmth, and offers quiet strength. Psychological studies support this. A 2020 analysis from the Seattle Institute of Visual Behavior found that burgundy evokes feelings of trust, depth, and subtle mystery. In tests with older adults, those who wore burgundy were consistently rated as soulful, experienced, and elegantly tasteful. Dr. Gloria Simmons, a geriatric specialist with over 20 years of experience in San Francisco, shared at a recent seminar, burgundy is ideal for older adults who want to remain refined without seeking the spotlight. It's a way of saying, I've lived enough to know I don't need to impress anyone. My presence is enough. For those who love style, burgundy pairs beautifully with ivory, navy, or dove gray, shades that harmonize naturally with mature skin. A burgundy coat, a cozy scarf, even a pair of low-heeled shoes in that rich tone can transform your look into something timeless and dignified. But it's not just about the color. It's about the feeling you carry when you wear it. Burgundy is most beautiful when you no longer need validation, because you already feel full. Like a fine wine, it needs no garnish, just time to become what it was always meant to be. If this resonates with you, share this video with a friend. Remind each other, we don't have to look younger to be beautiful. We only need to show up fully with the elegance of who we are, right now. If burgundy is the quiet whisper of a life well lived, then ivory, pure soft ivory, is the gentle pause that reminds us of something we've all carried, whether in our 20s or in the peaceful years that follow. There are some colors that don't need to speak to be noticed. They simply exist and make everything around them feel calmer. Pure ivory is exactly that. Marianne, 76, from Charleston, South Carolina, once shared a beautiful story at a senior women's club gathering. I wore an ivory blouse to my son's anniversary party. It wasn't a bold color, but that night I received more compliments than I had in years. People told me I looked elegant, graceful, and I think that was the first time since turning 60 that I felt beautiful without trying. That story stayed with me because in a world bursting with bold, vivid tones, we sometimes forget that simplicity can be a statement too. You don't need to overdo or reinvent yourself. Sometimes being exactly who you are, gently and fully, is enough. A study from the Institute of Color and Visual Communication in San Diego found that ivory, just a touch softer than stark white, has a calming effect on the nervous system. It creates a sense of ease and openness. For women over 60, ivory is especially flattering because it doesn't clash with mature skin tones the way pure white often does. Instead, it softens the appearance, giving the skin a smooth and even glow. Dr. Ellen Foster, a geriatric wellness expert and director of the Living Beautifully program in California, shared this insight. Ivory brings a sense of inner peace. It's not only beautiful on mature skin, it makes the wearer feel spiritually clean, like letting go of burdens and returning to themselves. Interestingly, in high fashion, designers often choose ivory for collections that reflect quiet luxury and minimalism. Because when a woman wears ivory, people notice her presence, not just her outfit. Ivory pairs effortlessly with soft neutrals like dove gray, navy blue, or light beige, creating a look that's both timeless and refreshing. A silk ivory blouse, a flowing dress, or even a delicate ivory scarf can make you the center of attention in the most subtle, refined way. But like all things delicate and beautiful, ivory needs care. Light-colored garments require gentle washing and storage to maintain their elegance, just as we nurture the soft spaces in our hearts. Do you remember the last time you wore ivory? Maybe it was for a special occasion, a quiet day of reflection, or just a regular afternoon when your heart felt still. If you have a memory like that, I'd love to hear it, because I believe somewhere out there, another woman may see herself in your story. And if you're looking for a little inspiration to wear ivory again, or even start small with a handkerchief in that shade, please do. You don't have to transform to feel beautiful. Sometimes, all it takes is a step back, a softer approach, and suddenly, you'll see the beauty that's been within you all along. If this gentle color speaks to you, don't hesitate to leave a comment, or share this video with someone dear to you. And always remember, you have a place to come home to, a place where every color, every feeling is welcome. That place is our community, Golden Wise Elders. If ivory is the soft veil of grace, then royal purple is the velvet cloak that holds depth, strength, and a beauty ripened by time. Some colors don't need to shout to be heard. When they appear, the whole room seems to pause. Royal purple is one of those colors. It isn't bold like red or tender like pink. It carries a quiet authority, a sense of dignity that only comes with experience. I'll never forget the story of Geraldine, 79, who lives in the suburbs of Seattle. At her birthday celebration, hosted by her children, she wore a deep purple gown with a hint of plum. It wasn't flashy or extravagant, but when she walked into the room, every eye turned to her. One of her grandchildren whispered, "Grandma looks like a queen." She smiled quietly, saying nothing, because deep down she knew she had always been a queen. She had simply forgotten to wear her crown. That story brought me back to what purple used to mean. Historically, it was the color of royalty, not just because it was beautiful, but because it was rare, expensive, and difficult to produce. Today, royal purple carries a more personal meaning, wisdom, maturity, and inner strength. It's no surprise this color has become a symbol for women in their 60s and beyond. Women who don't seek attention, but command respect through their calm presence and refined grace. A survey from the Institute of Color and Emotional Perception at the University of Illinois found that women over 65 who wore deep purple were consistently described as trustworthy, profound, and emotionally complex, compared to those wearing lighter tones. Purple was also shown to increase emotional balance and reduce mild anxiety, especially valuable for older women living alone or recently retired. Dr. Jeanette Hill, a senior psychologist based in New York, once said, "Purple is like a gentle hug for the mind. It doesn't just provide emotional grounding, it helps women reconnect with their spiritual core, that part of themselves often neglected amidst life's duties and distractions." In fashion, royal purple is incredibly versatile. It can lean elegant or luxurious, understated or upscale, simply by pairing it with the right accessories. A purple sweater with gray trousers, or a belted purple dress with a string of pearls, effortlessly channels the grande dame effect. And if purple isn't a color you usually wear, start small. A silk scarf, a pair of amethyst earrings, or even a deep plum nail polish. Sometimes, the subtlest touches carry the loudest message. Here's something you may not know. In color therapy, purple is considered the hue of spiritual healing. It helps individuals reconnect with the deeper parts of themselves. So if you've ever walked through loss, loneliness, or long stretches of darkness, perhaps royal purple is your way of gently wrapping your arms around yourself with strength and quiet power. And after the grounded, regal energy of royal purple, maybe it's time to let our hearts dance a little, to feel something lighter, brighter, like the way morning sunlight slips through the leaves and kisses your cheek. Sunny yellow is that feeling. It doesn't ask for permission, doesn't need a reason. It's simply a reminder that today is still a good day to smile. I remember a story from Dorothy, 67, a retired teacher from Austin, Texas. She once shared in a Facebook group for older women that after a long, lonely winter, she treated herself to a small shopping trip. Almost without thinking, she chose a lemon yellow blouse, a color she hadn't worn in over 30 years. That day, when she walked into her favorite coffee shop, the barista smiled and said, "You just lit up the whole cafe." She wrote, "I didn't realize how much I needed to feel seen, not just by others, but by myself." That small story may sound simple, but it holds a profound truth. As we get older, joy doesn't come from grand events. Sometimes it's found in a warm look, a sunny day, or a yellow shirt you never thought you'd love. A 2020 study from Stanford University found that yellow, especially bright sunlit shades, activates brain regions associated with happiness and positive memory. For older adults, yellow has also been shown to elevate mood and increase social engagement. something we deeply need to avoid: emotional isolation. Dr. Maria Lavelle, a senior psychologist in Florida, once said, "Yellow doesn't just create warmth. It makes the wearer feel alive, not boxed into an outdated image, but lit up from within." And if you're hesitant, don't think you need to wear head-to-toe yellow to change things up. Sometimes a lightweight scarf, a soft yellow blouse, or even a hat with a golden pattern is enough to brighten your reflection in the mirror. Who knows? The light you wear might warm someone else's heart too. One woman from a Tai Chi group once told me, "Every time I wear yellow, I feel like I'm smiling, even before my face has caught up." It's true, sometimes a color can do what medicine cannot: reach the spirit. Have you ever had a yellow day like that? Is there a yellow piece in your closet that you've never dared to wear? If so, maybe today is the time to try. And if you've ever felt the quiet transformation a color can bring, share your story with this community so that other women may find their own sunlight through your words. From the vibrant glow of yellow, where the spirit lifts and the soul feels kissed by light, we now gently transition into a softer hue. Like a breeze at the start of summer, like skin gently touched by sun, soft peach carries a calm, unspoken grace. It's not bold, not sharp, but it speaks to the quiet gentleness every woman holds within herself and deserves to feel again. Linda, 68, a retired librarian from suburban Chicago, once shared during a local community gathering that she had avoided bright colors for years. She stuck to muted tones, thinking they were safe, discreet, and good for hiding flaws. But one birthday, her daughter gifted her a soft peach cashmere sweater. She hesitated, then tried it on. And that day, no fewer than 3 people told her she looked radiant, younger, and perhaps the most touching, so soft. A gentleman at the grocery store even invited her out for coffee. She smiled and said, "I didn't realize that such a soft color could soften my heart too." And indeed, that's true. In color therapy designed for older adults, soft peach is often used to promote feelings of safety and approachability. According to a 2021 study published in Color and Health, women over 60 who wore soft peach were more likely to be perceived as warm, trustworthy, and easy to talk to. More importantly, the wearers themselves reported feeling more relaxed, less tense, and more open in social interactions. Dr. Caroline Rhodes, a geriatric dermatologist in Los Angeles, also shared, "Soft peach has a natural effect on mature skin. It produces what we call a soft light effect. It blurs harsh lines, eases the look of wrinkles, and brings harmony to the face, even without makeup." What's beautiful about this shade is its versatility. It flatters all skin tones, from fair to sun-kissed. Soft peach brings a tender glow, like a quiet echo of youth that's now matured into grace. If you've never tried it, start small. A lightweight sweater, a silk scarf, or even a peach-tinted lipstick. It's not just about clothing. It's a way of telling yourself, "I'm still gentle, still feminine, and I don't need to give that up just because I'm past 60. And here's another beautiful truth. Peach isn't just visually pleasing. It carries a unique healing energy. In a Reddit group called Healing Through Art, over 70% of older women participating in art therapy sessions chose peach as their background color. When asked why, most simply said, "It makes me feel safe." After being touched by the tenderness of soft peach, you may find your heart quieted, like the way a soft melody slows your hurried steps. But sometimes gentleness isn't just found in the familiar. Some colors feel both fresh and refined, capturing what mature women often seek: elegance with a modern twist. Rose gold, the shimmering pink gold blend, is one of those rare hues. Vivian, 66, from Scottsdale, Arizona, once wrote in a retirement lifestyle forum that she had always been hesitant to try modern fashion trends, worried she might look too much or like she was trying too hard to stay young. But on her daughter's 40th birthday, she decided to wear a rose gold silk scarf, just a small accent against an otherwise classic outfit. And what she didn't expect was that this little splash of color made her the most complimented woman at the party. "I didn't feel younger," she said, "but I felt present, confident, and completely at ease in my own skin." Rose gold isn't flashy like gold, nor shy like pastel pink. It's the perfect blend of gentle femininity and subtle shimmer, just enough to help you stand out without trying too hard. According to a 2022 study by the American Institute of Color, rose gold creates a visually softening effect on warm-toned skin, making the complexion appear smoother, more luminous, and most notably, more approachable at first glance. Dr. Lorraine Keene, a color and aesthetic specialist for mature women, shared during a conference in San Francisco. Rose gold is a color many older women miss out on because they assume it's too youthful. But in reality, its gentle shimmer beautifully reflects the essence of a seasoned woman, someone who no longer needs to impress, but simply wants to be seen as the person she's become. If you've never tried it, don't worry. You don't need to start with a metallic dress or anything extravagant. Begin with something small, a pair of rose gold earrings, a bracelet, or even a soft pink shimmer nail polish. These little accents are more than accessories. They reflect the quiet glow of a woman who's living with awareness, grace, and love for herself. And here's something not many people talk about. Rose gold brings a sense of modern elegance. In many emotional recovery therapies for seniors, rose gold is used to activate creativity and a feeling of gentle renewal, not by erasing the past, but by softening it, making room for something new to grow. Do you have a piece of rose gold jewelry tucked away, never worn? Or maybe you've seen something in that shade in a store window, but passed by, thinking it wasn't for you? If so, maybe it's time to look again. That color might be the soft, shimmering whisper you need on a day when you long to feel radiant again, not in an old way, but in your own way. And if this resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments or send this video to a close friend who might need a reason to believe she's still captivating, still allowed to shine in her own unique light. We've now walked through a palette of hues, gentle, bold, deep, bright. But perhaps the most surprising thing is this. There's one color, often considered the safest choice, that actually makes many women in their golden years become invisible. It's a color many of us wear daily, out of habit, for its versatility, for how it slims us down. Without realizing it might be taking away something precious, the attention we deserve. That color is black. Black, the color of elegance, of simplicity, of playing it safe, has been our go-to for decades. But here's the truth no one tells us. After 60, black no longer hides our flaws the way we think it does. More often than not, it hides us. I remember a very honest story shared by Roseanne, 72, during a community talk at her local library in Ohio. She said, "I've worn black for most of my life. To work, to weddings, to funerals. It always felt like the right choice. But one day, my granddaughter asked me, 'Grandma, don't you have any other colors?' That question made me look at my closet, and I realized it was all gray and black." She paused, then added softly, "I don't know when I started disappearing." That moment hits deep for many of us, not because black is bad, but because at a certain age, black no longer slims us down like it used to. Instead, it can wash us out, make our skin look dull, and our expressions seem more tired. Worse still, it can mute our individuality, making it harder for others to truly see us. A 2019 study from the University of California on color and communication found that older adults who wore black were perceived as more rigid and less approachable than those wearing lighter or neutral tones. And especially for women, black tends to weigh down facial expressions, making it harder for others to feel warmth, even when we're smiling. Style and image consultant Jacqueline Ross, who has worked with hundreds of midlife and older women in New York, once said in a podcast, "Don't get me wrong, I love black, but when a woman only wears it out of fear of being wrong, fear of standing out, fear of being seen, then black is no longer fashion, it's armor." I'm not telling you to abandon black, but if black has become your default every time you step outside, take a moment to ask yourself, are you choosing it because it's empowering, or because it's a way to fade quietly into the background? If it's the latter, then maybe it's time to bring a little light back into your presence. A colorful scarf, a pair of golden earrings, or just a cream-colored jacket over a black dress. Small touches like these can help you step out from the shadow of invisibility without even realizing it had followed you. Have you ever gone through a phase where everything you wore was black? Have you ever felt like you were slowly becoming unseen? If you have, don't blame yourself. We all reach for safety sometimes, but today, I hope you'll try something different. Something that makes people remember you, not because you blended in, but because you truly showed up. And if you need a little extra encouragement, remember this. Whether you live alone or not, you always deserve to feel cared for, to feel safe, and to live a life filled with love, especially the kind that starts with you. Please share in the comments if this resonates with you, or send this video to someone you care about. Maybe your words will be the spark that helps them feel seen again too. So now, we've taken a journey together, not just through color, but through a more compassionate, thoughtful way of seeing ourselves. Did you notice? What we wear each day isn't just fabric or fashion. It's the quiet language of our spirit. The most powerful lesson here isn't about what to wear or what to avoid. It's about asking yourself, am I choosing what makes me feel alive or just what makes me invisible? Do I dare let myself stand out, be soft, and shine in this beautiful season of life? And if you've ever felt forgotten, if you've ever seen people look right past you, if you've ever felt yourself shrinking in a world that moves too fast, please remember this. You are never too old to feel beautiful. You are never too late to reappear, confident, radiant, and proud. We don't have to return to 40 to be loved. We only need to choose colors and ways of showing up that remind the world and ourselves, I'm still here. I am wise, I am strong, and I deserve to be seen. And before we say goodbye, please carry this one truth with you. It's not the color you wear. It's the way you choose to show up in the world that makes you truly magnetic. Women don't shine because they're young. They shine because they've lived and they've learned to love themselves. If this video touched something in you, leave a comment, share your thoughts, or send it to a friend who might need this light today. And if you want more inspiration each week, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Golden Wise Elders, and turn on the bell so you never miss a story that might lift your spirit. Because here, this is where older women are not forgotten. Here they are seen, heard, and loved exactly as they deserve to be. I'll see you in the next video, and I believe you'll only grow more beautiful from today forward.